feel like I get in conversations with so many of my friends and I see them like, we'll go out to places, right? You think the social lounges, things like that. I see a lot of guys head down, curled over, on their phones, texting.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm up. You got to be in the present, command the room, breathe that oxygen in that air. But then it kind of comes down to this whole point where it's about the nice guy approach. You know what I mean? We're too nice. You can't be, the type of person that can't have a little bit too much aggression. So let me ask you this question, right? Because it's one of the questions I really, really wanted to ask. And it's about, how do we look at the difference between seeking validation before seeking connection?
Two different things. Let me back up a little bit and share a tool that I learned that created strong connection without concern for validation. And I just call it testing for interest. And it's just a real simple 3-step process. And again, guys want, okay, give me the plan, give me the schematic, give me the thing I'm going to go run, right? No, you don't run this. This is the basis of all social interaction. It's also the basis of all sales. So I would say testing for interest occurs at 3 levels. And at all levels, you're not trying to make anything happen. You're not attached to a specific outcome. And you're just observing, what is the person who I'm interacting with, what is their perceived interest in having an ongoing interaction with me? Not, do they like me? Are they impressed with me? No, just, do they seem to want to keep interacting with me? That's all we're observing, right? This is a very conscious process. So level 1 of the 3 levels of testing for interest, level 1 is just social pleasantry. I say everywhere you go, interact with the people around you. Men, women, young, old, fat, skinny, doesn't matter. Just interact. And level 1 is just social pleasantries. My standard is just, how's your day going so far? We can be in an elevator, we can be standing in line at a coffee shop. Just anybody that's nearby, how's your day going so far? It's not invasive. You're not trying to make anything happen. It's an invitation. People know it's an invitation. And they'll either respond to the invitation and start chatting with you, or they'll give you a minimal response and turn away, look at their phone, put on their headphones, whatever. That's all we're observing. No harm, no foul either way. Do they seem to have an interest in having an ongoing interaction or no? High interest, low interest, nothing in between. So, my simple ones are, how's your day going so far? If they have shopping bags, have they been shopping? Well, of course they've been shopping. And they know I'm just starting a casual conversation. There's no agenda. They just know that. Or I'll say, what's good here? What do you like to order? Or everything will quit raining. If the local team, how about those Cowboys? How about those Eagles? How about those Seahawks? Whatever it is, right? You're just starting a conversation, no agenda. And if there's high interest, a conversation will ensue that often lasts all of about 20 or 30 seconds. That's it. That's usually as far as it goes. Now, so if you say, how's your day going so far? And they say, it's off to a great start, and blah, blah, blah. And they go, how about you? Especially if they're reciprocal. If they ask you back, that's high interest, okay? If they go, fine, and they look back at their phone, low interest. You haven't done anything wrong. You're not a bad person. You're not a loser. You're not seeking external validation. They just have low interest in having an interaction. You don't have to figure out why, because it doesn't matter. They just don't want to have an interaction. So that's level 1. Okay, level 1 sometimes leads to level 2, but it does organically. You can't force level 2. Level 2 is where the conversation kind of just keeps going on its own. Maybe there's a shared interest, you like the same team, or you like sports, or you have a political discussion, or you're from the same hometown, or whatever. Something just clicks. Could be with a man, could be with a woman, doesn't matter. When I was single, I tested with men even more than women, because I didn't have problems getting women, but guy friends. You never have enough guy friends, right? Never have too many guy friends. So I tested a lot with guys, just social pleasantry. You and I, we're standing next to each other. I'd say, how's your day going so far? I go, Monday, what's your hat about? Just something like that. And you might say, Integration Nation, what's your T-shirt? And now all of a sudden we're at level 2. We're talking about stuff. Oh, you do a podcast? Well, how cool is that? Yeah, I actually do quite a few interviews myself. Now all of a sudden we're talking about something. That's level 2. It just happens organically. You can't force it. Now, often those conversations will last 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on the context where you're at, how much time everybody has. Usually they just go a little bit of time and they come to a natural end. Well, it's great to meet you. Have a great rest of your day. Blah, blah, blah. Move on. Now, level 3 testing is where you require something of them. This is one where you get a little bit of agenda, so to speak. You require something of them to see how high is their interest in having an ongoing interaction, whether it be now, later, another time. So if it's a woman and you seem to be hitting it off at level 2, you'd say, you pull out your phone and say, give me your number, give me your Instagram, how depending on your age bracket, what you'd say. And then you'd hold your phone out, and then if they give you their number, you say, hey, I got a plan. I want to connect with you next week. I got an idea of how we can continue this conversation. And if they go, oh, yeah, here's my number, here's my Instagram. And if they tell you their name and spell it for you, high interest, right? If they go, I'm really busy, or I don't give my phone number out, or thanks for asking, but I got a boyfriend, low interest. Doesn't matter why. You found out what you needed to know. They don't want to continue an interaction with you, not because there's anything wrong with you, but for whatever reason they don't. But you find out. I call it get to rejection quickly. You don't have to keep guessing. Oh, was she single? Was she in a relationship? I didn't ask. Go for it. Get to rejection quickly. Okay? And with guys, if we're talking and all of a sudden we realize, hey, you do podcasts, I do interviews, I've written a book, you do man, let's get each other's information. Let's follow up with each other. And then we would do that. It's high interest. If I say, hey, well, why don't you give me your number and we'll reach out, and you go, well, why don't you give me your contact information? I'll have my person contact you. Well, I don't know. Maybe not such high interest, right? So again, we're not trying to get them to approve of us. Now, here's what I find with men. Once they master the levels of testing for interest, they get good at being a social animal. Conversations start unfolding just naturally with no tricks, no games, no manipulation. But a lot of guys say, you know what? I have a hard time getting to level 3. I have a hard time going for it. Give me your number, or give me your Instagram, or hey, come meet me at this thing. Let's do this later on. And they go, I get stuck. And I go, here's why. And it goes back to your seeking validation. For most men, their highest goal with women is having their approval. Kind of goes back to wanting mommy's approval, wanting our babysitter's approval, wanting our teacher's approval in 3rd grade. It goes, in junior high, we want the girls to approve of us. But women approving of you doesn't necessarily get you a girlfriend or get you laid. Again, you end up in the friend zone because you're trying hard to do whatever it takes for them just to approve of you. If you notice, women sleep with men all the time who they claim to disapprove of. Right. If you're a nice guy, you've listened to enough stories of the girl you're trying to impress and get her approval while she's talking to you on and on and on. You're her emotional tampon about the bad ex that, keeps being a jerk to her. And, we all know the stories. So they disapprove of that man, but they can't quit talking about him, and they can't quit going back to him either. Okay? While we're the nice guy listening. We seem to have her approval.